Sorry. We'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Campbell.
Here.
Dempsey. Here. Fournier. Here. Hammond.
Here.
Crop.
Here.
Menser. Here. Voorhees.
Here.
Okay. Sorry, I'm pulling up my agenda here. Sorry, technology. It's great when it works. Where are we?
Announcements.
I don't think we have any announcements, acknowledgements, so we'll move on to adoption of the agenda.
Mayor Kropp, I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
All right. This is the portion of the meeting where we allow the public to participate and address the commission. We ask that you give us your full name, your residential address, and that you abide by our 3-minute rule. First, we will address the people in the present today, and then we will go to the Zoom meeting. First, if there's anyone in person who would like to address the commission, they can come forward. And you want to put the mic back, Commissioner Campbell? Thank you. Oh. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. I think you just made it worse, actually. Yep, you did.
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna pull your computer out. There we go.
Work stage crew and
Yeah. All right. While our technician is back to work, you can address the commission at this point.
Hi. Is it working?
Yeah, it just goes to the camera.
Oh, okay.
I-
I'm Rebecca McCloskey, 145 Washington Street. I don't like talking in public, so.
It's
Thank
okay.
you for bearing with me. I just wanted to thank you for the meeting earlier about the water decision. And I had emailed earlier today, and my opinion is that we keep the water system local and repair our water plant. I grew up in Mount Clemens and moved back here, and one of the selling points, I think, was the good water system. We have a good, and Mount Clemens is a great city too, but the quality water was one of the unique and great things about Mount Clemens. I agree. I think getting citizen input is a good idea, too. And I invited at least 3 other families with kids who aren't feeling well to come tonight. But I know that there are other people here who aren't here who are paying attention. So thank you for the education stuff that you're doing. I think that was it. Just that and I think that the cost, I understand that the cost would be greater to have repair our own plant, build a new one, but I think the cost is worth it to have the local control of our water. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Eric Rick, 1689 Hampton. Just something I wanted to mention on the scoring. I know we would lose likely all 15 points on the consolidation and regionalization unless we can get maybe 1 or 2 points for Selfridge and the other smaller communities that we also help support. But Section 1A also has facilities upgrade to maintain compliance, improve or maintain compliance with current or future regulations. We might be able to get a few points there. If we really, really work at it and they honestly grade us, we may still qualify and we may not lose as many points as we're thinking, because for the consolidation, the maximum points you can get is 15 in that section. And that section is max 25 points. If we can get enough other points from the other categories there, we may only be missing out on, I don't know, 5 or 6 points total. It's still a heck of a lot of money, but I don't want us going in thinking that just the point difference is so drastically different if we go for consolidation, if they rank us honestly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Bronson. I live on 34 Queen Street right here in Mount Clemens. I do want to say the city's done a very good job hosting events lately. I think not even just the Santa Parade. I think the Pride event went very well. I think it shows that this city is very inclusive and will be a good thing to help draw more businesses and get more families in the city. I do have one concern I'd like to voice about the water thing. I did go to Wayne State. I have a bachelor's in biochemistry. Something I've been focused on the last couple of years is water quality. I think Mount Clemens water, very clean, very good water in the city. But a problem that I have with Great Lakes is that they say in their information that their water does not contain lead, and that's something we have to trust them on. But when you have customers like East Point, St. Clair Shores, Warren that do have elevated levels of lead, and especially like Commissioner Menzer had mentioned, East Point recently, just last month in October, having had their levels above the federal regulation, so they've had to put out an advisory about lead in their water, and those are very close customers to us that have had those elevated levels and are part of the Great Lakes water system. Not saying that it is their fault, but I think it would be something that would be worth looking into. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the commission at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to Zoom. No one on Zoom. Okay. All right, we will close public participation and move on to administrative responses, which I believe there's none at this time. So we will go ahead and I'll entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
Motion to approve the city commission meeting minutes for November 7th, 2022.
Support.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Call the roll, please.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Menzer.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Okay, general business 9A, first reading of Administrative Hearings Bureau. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the introduction and first reading of ordinance number 19.300 and set December 5th, 2022 as the date for the second reading and adoption.
Support.
Mr. Wood.
After conducting research on administrative hearings bureaus and holding a city commission work session on September 6th, a draft ordinance is now being presented for introduction. The effective date would be 120 days from the date of publication after adoption. This will allow time for the city to amend additional ordinances so they are in alignment, conduct public education, establish internal processes, seek the services of a hearings officer, and hire additional staff.
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments about this first reading? Commissioner Menzer.
On 19.301, Section 1, it says here, I'll just cut to the chase here. It says we're changing things from a criminal misdemeanor or civil infraction offenses to blight violations punishable by a civil fine as determined following a hearing in the city. So can you explain more about why we don't want, why we're going to go to a criminal or to a fine versus some kind of criminal proceeding?
That's because the commission has been presented with the proposal that an administrative bureau hearings is a more effective way of dealing with the problem. You know, that's how it came about. Everything we have now in the city is a misdemeanor, every violation, whether it's a building violation, a blight violation, everything is a misdemeanor. We have municipal infractions. We have a municipal infractions bureau, an ordinance, but it's never been utilized. And this Administrative Hearings Bureau concept was presented to the commission in September or earlier than that, perhaps.
I think the September was the work session.
Yeah, and prior to that, the prior manager thought it was a good idea, and that's how it's here now.
So on the civil fine, if they don't pay, eventually it will just simply go on a lien against their taxes.
Ultimately, yes.
So there will be no criminal penalty. I think we had a house on Wellington Crescent where the gentleman actually ended up in jail because he ignored the penalties and he ignored the blight.
Yes.
And so that'll end that kind of.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking at imposing on 19.304, Section 4, item number 5 and 6. I'm just kind of looking at reasonable and proportionate sanctions consistent with the code, and that the violator is responsible for the violation, and the hearing officer shall not impose a civil fine in excess of $10,000 in the aggregate. And then in 6, it talks about a $10, justice system assessment. Can you give me a little bit more background on that?
Well, the statute, which this is based upon, is Michigan Compiled Laws 117.4Q, and it provides that the maximum fine could be $10,000. Now, I can't fathom a fine of $10,000 being imposed for a blight violation, okay? But the statute allows that, so that's why it's in this ordinance. The $10, that is in the statute as well, and it's a way for the state to get some of the money that you may collect for these violations.
Okay. And then to flip to the next page, 19.306, item D, under default, it says the hearing officer may find the recipient in default and enter an order of default, which includes sanctions as permitted.
That's if somebody
and that's what
doesn't
we
show up.
just-
That's if somebody doesn't show up.
Okay.
The hearing officer can say, I find a violation. In the code enforcement, people would be at these hearings. You know, you're going to have a hearing officer, he's probably going to be there for the morning or the afternoon and have 20 or 30 of these cases. When someone doesn't show up, you're still going to have the code enforcement person who can testify, and he can default them because they failed to appear and impose a fine.
Okay.
But that happens in, that happens in district court as well, in terms of somebody doesn't show up, they'll enter a bench warrant because it's a criminal proceeding, but there is a penalty for failure to appear.
So flipping the page to 19.308 on A is the payment I just talked about that. But it's, just simply became a lien on the property if they don't pay. Do you think that the lien on their property up to $10,000 is enough to get people to pay?
Oh, I have no idea. We get the ability right now to lien properties for blight and for other building violations. That's in almost every one of the ordinances that currently exist. The big thing whether people are going to pay is whether they get the wherewithal to pay, usually is the biggest thing. And if you put a lien on, ultimately, if they sell it, you get paid at that point in time. But if it gets foreclosed, you're not going to get paid, because a foreclosure will wipe out tax foreclosure plus a normal mortgage foreclosure. Both would wipe out this type of lien because they predate the lien you're putting on.
So, because you have been our representative in court multiple times on blight violations that have come up for criminal proceedings, or criminal, misdemeanor proceedings, do you feel that this system of simply putting a lien on and eliminating the criminal proceedings is going to be more effective?
I have no idea. I had certain objections, or not objections, but items that I pointed out. Mr. Tingley had certain items that he pointed out. But the momentum in the process was that it seemed to be the consensus of the commission that they wanted this ordinance.
Okay.
And time will tell. It may be more effective, it may not.
Commissioner Dempsey.
That was one thing I was going to say. I'd like to see a review in 6 months after this gets going, and then a full review in a year to see if it really has had an impact.
So after 6 months, you mean,
Just
we're giving them?
after 6 months,
Well, we're
once
giving
it's
them.
been going.
Okay, so 10
Yeah.
months from now, because we're giving them 4 months to get this
Right.
going.
Whenever, right.
Right.
And then I think it needs to be revisited in a year to see, one, if it has been cost effective, if it has done anything for the blight. Because if it's not, we're putting out $80-some thousand to put this program together. And I think it's important for us to keep on top and see if it's really working. I mean,
Sure.
we may find out that it's not, but try. The other thing is, this is a question on constitutional here where it says the mayor shall appoint subject to the approval of the city manager.
Oh, that must be a
I think
typo.
I think it should be the
What-
mayor
what page is
shall
that on?
appoint. That's on page 2. The mayor shall appoint subject to the commission.
Yes.
Right.
That's a typo.
Or you make it that just the city manager, because
No,
we do
it's a
have
typo.
one.
It's a
It's a
Okay.
typo. We'll change
So it would be a
Just
that.
wanted to-
similar process of boards. and
Well, we
commissions.
have one, I think, that that the city manager appoints.
A housing,
It's a housing
right, housing
commission.
commission.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So
By
I just wanted to make sure,
statute, yeah.
I thought that was a error.
Commissioner Campbell, did you have a?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this ordinance that we're implementing here has been based off of the administration's talks with Port Huron and Sterling Heights, that they have found it effective. So I agree with Commissioner Dempsey that in 6, whatever months it is after this, that we look at this to see if it is being effective, if it is being followed the way it is in those other cities that have made this ordinance effective for them. So I agree with a review to see how it follows, and that administration's talks with other cities is what ultimately put this together.
Right.
So I think it should be beneficial to the city.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we'll call the roll, please.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Menser.
No.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to delinquent taxes, 9B. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that the Mount Clemens City Commission approve the special assessment rules for 2204, 2205, and 2206 for delinquent bills and placement on the city's tax roll for winter 2022.
Support.
Each year, it is necessary to place delinquent bills on the special assessment rolls for collection. Attached for your review are delinquent utility bills and delinquent general bills broken down as follows. Special assessment roll 2204, $30,530. Special assessment roll 2205, $58,154. And special assessment roll 2206, $35,385.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, we'll go ahead and call roll, please.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
9C, amend our dates for the regular city commission meetings for fiscal year 2022-23. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the amended schedule of regular city commission meeting dates for the 2022-2023 fiscal year as presented.
Support.
The following schedule indicates the amended proposed dates for the regular city commission meetings for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. The first meeting in January changed from the 2nd to the 3rd due to the New Year's Day holiday. Those marked with an asterisk have been moved from the normal first and third Monday of each month due to conflicts with holidays.
And this specifically is dealing with the January issue, correct?
Right, it was
Right.
initially the
Second,
original approved calendar was the 2nd.
which I think we just wanted to celebrate my birthday. All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments? All right, call the roll, please.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Hammond.
Yes.
9D, amend the use of 2022 APRA funds, the ARPA funds. I'll entertain a motion.
I'm confused here, Mayor, because the very next page says appropriation of ARPA funds, and then when you flip, it says approve use of ARPA funds.
Amend the use.
What are you referring to? Where's the?
The
The
second
tab.
one is of February 2nd, where it says approve use of
Yeah.
ARPA funds.
Yeah.
That's a
that was
February
February.
2nd.
That was the old,
Yeah.
that was
the
showing you
background.
the background,
this is just
the
here
menu.
for background, okay.
menu,
Yeah.
the background,
It confused me when I
Memo.
first read it too.
so it is correct, and we are reapportioning.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion.
I move the city of Mount Clemens submit the following project for ARPA funding. Payment of law enforcement services with Macomb County in the amount of $1,695,162.
Support.
On February 7th, the City Commission approved a recommendation from the former city manager to utilize American Rescue Plan funds, ARPA, to finance 4 projects that met the spending criteria of the Act in the amount of $1,695,162. At that time, with the Act specified both the nature and time frame for the eligible uses of these monies, with all projects having to be completed by December 31st, 2024. The 4 projects approved by the City Commission met the criteria as specified by the Act. Shortly after the Commission's approval, the federal government expanded the uses of the ARPA monies, which now includes funding for law protection and enforcement. This expansion of the allowable uses of these monies provides the city opportunity to finance the monthly invoices it receives from the county for law enforcement services. Currently, the city expends $235,120 monthly for law enforcement and related services, or approximately $2.8 million on an annual basis. The use of ARPA funds would equate to a little more than 7 months of expenditures of our existing contract with the county. After consulting with Plant Moran about recommending an amendment to the original ARPA appropriation, they agreed that such recommendation would be of greater benefit to the city. I have reviewed the federal regulations about revising the original appropriations and have found that such a revision is permitted with the approval of the City Commission. There are several reasons that would make this amendment beneficial to the city. With the city looking to expend nearly $2 million in federal monies this fiscal year, it will be necessary to have the audit team perform a single audit per federal regulations. This is far more comprehensive than a normal audit, which makes it necessary for all the contractors as well as the city to comply with federal labor statutes and the underlying regulations stated within the act that governs the ARPA distribution. As a result, this places additional paperwork on the prospective contractors, which they include in their pricing. With the approval of the reappropriation of ARPA monies toward law enforcement services, the city would simply have to produce to the audit team the existing contract with the county along with the monthly paid invoices. Subsequently, the city will save money on the audit process, which can be put towards projects and eliminates having to spend additional funds in conforming to the many burdensome regulations. The former projects that were earmarked to be completed with ARPA funds will be reappropriated and paid for out of the general fund. Given the advantages as mentioned, I recommend the City Commission amend the original appropriation of February 7th and reallocate the same amount of funding for law enforcement activities.
Okay, that was a mouthful.
Yes.
That was your reading for the day. Okay, so I'm sure there's questions, because that was a lot. So who's up first?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I am concerned that we're not going to complete some of the water main replacement that we had in the original, that was dated from February of '22. I am thinking that our residents having, water available after our last discussion is a little bit more important. So I would like to see us continue with the Alter Court water main replacement and the West Brightmeyer and Robertson Court water main replacement and the catch basin cleaning.
We are still going to do those, aren't we?
But it's
We are.
going to come out of the general fund.
Right.
But we will have the monies
So
there.
ultimately,
from-
what's
Yeah,
going to
it's just a
happen?
flip.
Just a flip.
So ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to take the ARPA money, instead of paying the sheriff contract out of the general fund, you're going to use the ARPA money to pay that contract, thus leaving that same exact amount in the general fund dedicated for these other projects.
It's just more flexible.
It just makes life easier, and actually less costly on the city to spend the ARPA funds in this manner. So all of those projects are going to get done out of the general fund instead of out of the ARPA money.
Okay.
And
I
so-
wasn't clear that you could use the general fund for some of the water projects, for enterprise funds.
You just can't use enterprise funds to fund the general fund.
Correct.
Okay.
But I have a question on the project for the Cherry Street.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that, I know part of the Cherry Street renovation or restructuring will take care of some of the flooding that's going on in that area. Is Macomb Street included in this project?
The administration is currently looking at a widespread type of project to include Macomb Street, Cherry Street Mall, Main Street, and currently is looking at all of the infrastructure, the underground infrastructure, which is what part of the problem is with
Which I
Macomb.
understand.
Right,
However,
so-
we're putting in 800? How
No.
much money is going into Cherry Street total? There's
330.
350, well, we have a grant.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the 800.
So it's a total. It's almost $1 million, right?
1.3, well, with the
1.3
DDA
million
money,
is
it's
going into Cherry
1.3.
Street. My biggest concern is, yes, you are going to take a look at all those things that you said. Where's the money coming to replace Macomb Street where it's caving in? You're going to make Cherry Street look really great. That's wonderful. But the curbs are still going to be chipped. The street's still going to be wobbly, so I always say if you have kidney stones, go down the street because it'll shake them right off. So I guess I'm just concerned that we're doing some things aesthetically, which also we're correcting a few things there, don't get me wrong. But we're still leaving some of the really bad infrastructure. And what does that say? I mean, I have a problem with that.
Well-
A nice arboretum and everything, that's beautiful, but if the street is still in the condition it's at, I don't think, putting on, like they say, putting lipstick on a pig doesn't make it any better. I mean, I just want to know, where's the money coming from? Is it seriously going to be addressed? Because I've had more complaints about that street than any other street in Mount Clemens, which we have plenty of streets we can talk about. But, you know, you're spending $1 million right there.
Well, prior to anything with the very first portion of all of this, the Cherry Street or anything downtown, including sidewalks, is the underground infrastructure.
Okay.
That is what the problem is with Macomb Place. That's why it's like that, is because of the underground infrastructure. We're in the process of trying to determine whether it can be a sewer lining or if it has to be open cut and replaced, or what has to happen with that.
Okay, so
Right?
that's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, so once we get through that, we'll know how to address and what has to happen to fix
Okay.
these.
And
other
as a
things.
team, we've been meeting to address all of it. The sidewalks, all that you're saying, those curb cuts that are a mess, I mean, everything, so that we can package it, all of that area, right? So we can package it like we did with Cherry Street, so that we can go, and soon, so that we can go after the money that you're talking about, right? And say to these entities that have infrastructure money right now, and say, this nice little project that you should fund, right, is available for you to fund. And we have every intention of doing that, you know, that in this next funding cycle of everything, like we did with Cherry Street, and we were allotted quite a bit of money. And we've been told by the MEDC, we've been told by these funding agencies, you know, and that's why Jeff and AEW, they're working on getting a nice project formulated to say and how it would impact the downtown, and how it would have a great impact on economic development, and, you know, all of the great things that it would do, so that it is really fundable. And that is, like I said, going to be where we can, if we waited to do it all at once, we would lose that $813,000.
No, I think you do what you can with the 800.
Right,
you know.
but it's
And
designated for Cherry
The
Street.
334 that we're putting into it from the
Right.
general fund, maybe
Which
that needs
is
to be
also-
allocated for street.
Well, it has to be allocated towards that 813
Why?
because it's a matching
It's a
grant.
matching grant?
It's a
Okay.
matching grant.
All
And
right.
so MEDC said, this is the portion that you are going to kick in,
Okay.
and that's what makes it a feasible project. So then, you know, they had no intention of it being a one and done thing, is from what we've been told by all the MEDC.
I'm just so concerned, that's gonna look so nice and pretty, but the street's gonna be still as horrible as it is, and
We have a lot of infrastructure needs that
Curbs
have
are
been
gonna
kicked
be
down the can for
horrible.
10 or so, 20 or so years that we're trying to work on. So, you know, I mean, we're trying to work on all of it, but I don't think we should do nothing because we're gonna do, you know, we
I
can't do it
never
all
said
at
that.
once,
I never
so.
said do nothing. I'm just saying that I think it's important,
I think so too.
you know.
That's why we're working really hard on it. Is there any other questions on it? Denise, did you have anything else? Did we get
No.
all your tabs?
Yep.
Okay.
You got all my tabs.
Call the roll, please, then.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop.
Yes. All right, 9E, purchases and payments of invoices.
Move to approve purchases and payment invoices as presented.
Support.
Are there any questions or comments about yes, Commissioner Menzer?
I just wanted to know this demolition that is coming out of the general fund, is this going to be coming, are we going to get CDBG money or anything from that? We're just paying for this? Correct. And the owner of the property is not paying for it, we are?
The city owns the property.
The city owns the property? Oh. And we bought it with, and we owned it with, we bought it with a dilapidated home on it?
It was a tax foreclosure property.
Okay.
We bought it with the purpose of demolishing it.
Okay. Have we got anybody that's interested in purchasing that property yet?
I believe there are some neighbors that would be interested in that demolition.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey. Yes. Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Call the roll, please.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Okay, city managers report. Mr. Wood.
The splash pad, we have looked at some amenity designs and have approved some and are getting cost estimates compiled for some fencing and additional concrete and seating and parking for the splash pad. The fire department interviews were completed for new firefighter applicants. A civil service commission meeting is scheduled for November 22nd to certify the eligibility list. 13 people have applied for the rental inspector position. Interviews are being scheduled and will begin shortly. We're skipping that. Mount Clemens Community Center, located at 300 North Groesbeck Highway, is scheduled to open in early January for program registration. Programming will start the week of January 16th.
Okay.
The 47th Annual Santa Parade was held Saturday. A thank you to everyone who made it happen, and congratulations to our very own Commissioner Denise Menser for her victory in the state representative race for the 61st District.
Thank you. Thank you.
November 18th through December 23rd, the Downtown Decorating Contest. Vote for your favorite decorated downtown business. Ballots are available at all participating businesses. And November 18th through January 1st, holiday parking is free after 3 and is always free on Saturdays and Sundays. Please visit one of our many fine downtown stores for your Christmas shopping needs. And Small Business Saturday, please shop local in downtown Mount Clemens. There will be a photo contest, cash prizes, and more on November 26th. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Wood, who is standing in for Mr. Shipman? So be kind on your questions. He's in the hot seat. Right. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to public participation. This is, again, the second opportunity that we give the public to address the commission. We ask that you give us your full name, that you give us your residential address, and abide by our 2-minute rule. We'll start with in-person, and then we'll move to Zoom. Is there anyone who would like to address the commission at this time?
Hi, Rebecca McCloskey, 145 Washington. The talk about the roads reminded me that I've been meaning to ask someone about Grand Avenue. So that was just my question. I know we have a lot of beautiful roads and that are old and stuff, but I just wanted to ask if something is going on with Grand too, because that one is pretty bumpy.
It's also for your kidney.
The answer is no.
The answer is.
So, thank you, that was my question.
The answer is we're going to bother our state representative for some local road funding.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else at this time? All right, seeing no one jumping up and running to the microphone, is there anyone on Zoom? Okay. All right, thank you, and we'll move to commissioner comments. Commissioner Dempsey.
I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe out there and enjoy your families.
Thank you. Commissioner Voorhees.
Yes. Since our last election, I think the next day, our last commission meeting, we had an election, and it went very smoothly. How was the vote turnout? Was it?
It was, well, statewide, it was record-breaking.
How about here?
Here, yeah, it was above average.
Perfect. Because that gives you the right to say something. If you voted, you can say something. Denise, congratulations. I know that Denise will bring back every dime that the state has, will bring it back to the city. So for that, we thank you, and I know you'll do a great job. Once a Clemite, always a Clemite.
Thank you. Commissioner Menzer.
Thank you for the confidence, you've expressed in me going to Lansing. I do have some ideas of things I want to bring home to Mount Clemens. I will, although I'm representing part of Clinton and part of Sterling Heights, Mount Clemens has been my home for a long time. And I fully intend to make a pain in the ass of myself up in Lansing and bring home some benefits for this city. And with that, thank you and have a great holiday.
Thanks. Commissioner Campbell.
I want to say thank you to the administration for all the work that they've done regarding the water treatment plant, the new ordinance regarding code enforcement. Hopefully it will make things more streamlined, and it will make residents happy when they have an issue or a concern and it has not been addressed. Hopefully this will move forward with that. So again, thank you to administration for all the work they've done on both these things, on behalf of the citizens.
Thank you. Commissioner Hammond.
I want to first thank City Clerk Kathy Martin for a successful election here in Mount Clemens. Also, congratulations, State Rep Mincer.
Thank you.
And I wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Commissioner Fournier.
Well, Denise, the bar has been set. Now you have, you have, before you've even gotten there, you've got an agenda a mile long. But
I do.
We wish you the best, and we will miss you. It's been, I haven't known a commission without you. It is going to be, it's going to be different, so, but we'll
I'll be
miss you.
stopping in from time to time because I will be home on Monday nights.
But I want to thank everyone who put the time and effort into the parade and to the tree lighting ceremony. They both were great events, even though they were cold, very cold, but they turned out, and I think there was a lot of people who really enjoyed them. I know at the tree lighting, my 2-year-old granddaughter certainly enjoyed Jingle Bells. Not so much seeing Santa, but Jingle Bells. In fact, Santa looked at Evie and said, like father, like daughter like father, you know, because my son wasn't too thrilled either back then. But I do wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I am grateful for the many things I am grateful for. One thing I truly am grateful for is to live in this city and to be part of a great group of people. So thank you to all of you for your participation, especially all of you that keep coming and giving us your opinions and listening and knowing what's going on. We really do appreciate it. And to all the staff for all you do. I am very, very grateful for all of you. Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving.
Great, thank you. I just want to mention again, thank you to the Downtown Development Authority and the Parade Committee. They put in a ton of work to make that happen, and a lot of months of preparation. All of the sponsors for the parade, there were quite a few sponsors. That was great. The top two, Exalta and the Mount Clemens Foundation, they were both very generous, and we appreciate that. I'd like to, of course, thank everyone who participated in the parade. It was a lot of fun. I don't think any of my limbs had any feeling left in them at the end, but it was so cold. But we had a great time. My dog had it right, though. He kept trying to hide in the car because it was so cold. We had a great time. And I'd like to offer up any kind of assistance that I can in the next week and a half or so to make a citizens forum, citizen town hall happen for on the subject of our water filtration plant, and so that we can help educate the public and hear feedback from the public so that we can make an informed decision in December. But I would like to make clear that I do believe we need to have that on the agenda the first meeting of December, just because there's a lot of discussion I think that's going to happen on that. So, and I of course congratulate Commissioner Mencer, as you all did. I think that it's going to be a really exciting time for you in Lansing, and hopefully we can we will stay in touch and we can make it happen for Mount Clemens up in Lansing. And with that, I will.
We just need to make sure she gets enough of those little sticky cab.
Oh, don't give away my parting gift.
What to buy stock in.
Right, exactly. No kidding. Can you imagine? All right, well, with that, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Crump, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
And if you're wondering what they're talking
Support.
about, it's these. I mark my agendas up with sticky notes.
But you know, with the state, it's going to be like that.
No kidding, yeah. Well, we had a motion and a support. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good night, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.